1. Elephant and the Thread of Faith. There was a man strolling through an elephant farm, and he noticed that the elephants there didn't need to be kept in cages or tied with chains. What kept these elephants from running away was just a thread tied to one of their four legs. As the man observed the elephants, he couldn't understand why they didn't use their strength to break those threads and escape. It was effortless for them, but instead, they remained still. Curious and eager to find an answer, he approached a nearby trainer to inquire why these elephants stood still and never attempted to break free. The trainer replied that when they were young elephants, we used threads of the same size to tie them, and at that age, it was enough to keep them in place. As they grew, these elephants naturally believed they couldn't break free. They have faith that the thread can still restrain them, so these elephants never try to achieve freedom. The sole reason these elephants never attempt to run away for their freedom is that, over time, they have come to believe it is. 2. Thinking beyond boundaries. Centuries ago, in a small town in Italy, there was a businessman deeply in debt to a usurer with exorbitant interest rates. The moneylender was an old man, unpleasant in appearance, but strangely fond of the businessman's daughter. Unsurprisingly, the girl was repulsed when the old man proposed to her. The usurer declared that he would place 2 stones in a bag, one black and one white. The girl had to pick a stone from the bag. If she chose the black stone, he would clear the entire debt, but she had to marry him. If she chose the white stone, he would still clear the debt, and she wouldn't have to marry him. Standing on the cobblestone path in the owner's garden, the usurer bent down and picked up 2 stones. While he was picking up the stones, the girl noticed that he picked 2 black stones and put them in the bag. Then, he asked the girl to come forward, take a stone from the bag, and reveal her choice. She had 3 options. Refuse to take any stone from the bag. Take both stones out and expose the usurer's deception. Choose 1 stone, fully aware that it would be black, sacrificing herself to settle her father's debt. So, the girl took out a stone, but before opening her hand to see its color, she pretended to accidentally drop it among the other stones on the ground. She told the moneylender, "Oops, my mistake." "No worries, just look in the bag to see which stone is left, and you'll know which one I picked." The remaining stone in the bag was indeed black, and "3. The Frog Choir, Encouragement. In a forest, a group of frogs was leisurely strolling when 2 of them fell into a deep hole. The other frogs gathered around the hole to assess its depth and declared to the trapped frogs that there was no chance of escape. Despite the discouragement from the onlookers, the 2 frogs decided to ignore the warnings and attempt to jump out of the hole. Despite the efforts of the frogs below, the chorus of frogs at the top of the hole continued to insist that there was no way out, encouraging them to give up. According to the chorus, escape was impossible. Eventually, one of the trapped frogs began to pay attention to the discouraging words from the group above and gave up, accepting its fate. The remaining frog, however, continued to leap with all its might. The chorus of frogs above continued to urge it to stop, to accept its fate and avoid further pain. But this frog persevered, jumping even more energetically, until it finally leaped out of the hole. Upon reaching the top, the triumphant frog was asked by the other frogs, "Didn't you hear what we were saying?" For a pound of butter, honesty, eh? There was a farmer who sold a pound of butter to a baker. One day, the baker decided to weigh the butter to see if it was exactly 1 pound, and it turned out that it wasn't. Angrily, the baker took the farmer to court. In court, the judge asked the farmer if he used any method to weigh the butter. The farmer replied, "Your Honor, I am a simple man. I don't have any fancy scales, but I do have a scale." The judge then asked, "So, how do you weigh the butter?" The farmer explained, "Your Honor, long before this baker started buying butter from me, I have been purchasing a pound of bread from him every day. Every time he delivers the bread, I put it on the scale and give him the equivalent weight in butter. If there is any blame, Five obstacles on our path, opportunity, eh? Once upon a time, there was a king who placed a large rock on the path. He then hid in a nearby place to observe whether anyone would move the rock. Some wealthy merchants and close aides of the king passed by, and they simply walked around the rock. Many openly criticized the king for not keeping the road clear, but none of them took any action to move the rock. Later, a farmer carrying a load of vegetables approached. When he encountered the rock, he set down his bundle of vegetables and attempted to push the rock out of the way. After several attempts, he finally succeeded. Upon returning to lift his vegetables, the farmer noticed a bag of money lying on the road where the rock had been. In the bag, there were many gold coins and a note from the king explaining that the gold was a reward for anyone who moved the rock from the path. The moral of the story: every obstacle we encounter in life brings an opportunity for us to improve our circumstances. While some may complain, others creatively seize opportunities with courageous hearts, generosity, and a willingness to go the extra mile.